Hello, ladies. Can I get a thumbs up? Let me stop the music. Stop the music. Can I get a thumbs up if you can hear me loud and clear? It's really cool because I'm using this mic, this portable mic. I'm literally in Amsterdam right now in a mastermind. I just spoke on stage and I'm here in a restaurant doing this with you. So this is super fun. Also, just to showcase that you can always speak wherever you go, wherever you are, and bring whatever you're doing with you. So it's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And it is commitment because they keep going, and then after this I'll go back to the room, so it's going to be fun. But I'm here with you today, and it's going to be a really powerful session. And I would love to start off with some wins and celebrations from all of you, because yesterday some of you were there in the Monday momentum call, but I really wanted for all of you also to feel even more connected with each other, because some of you will speak in 4 weeks from now, and some of you are here for the ever first time. So I would love for every single one of you to have a moment to share your win, and within your win, everybody's gonna learn a little bit more about who you are and what you're doing. So I want everybody to have the mic at one place, and who would love to start? Kath, Carolyn.
Hey everybody, how are you? As Laurie knows, I was in the hospital for about a week. My friend's dog knocked me over and I got a little icky thing in my head, so they had to scan me for days. But while I was there, all the nurses came in. They said, my head nurse says they got to come talk to you because you're awesome. So I asked the head nurse, I said, do y'all have meetings? She goes, yes. I said, well, can I speak to your meeting? So she says, let me think about that. So she called me yesterday and she says, we'd love for you to speak to our meeting of Forever Young. This is my first thing ever.
Yes, that's
I had to go to the hospital to get it.
let's go. Carolyn, did you just secure a speaking gig in a hospital? Did you just
But
make from a very low point a breakthrough? Is that what I'm hearing?
I was like, they thought I have a slight concussion or slight, like a little thing. And so I have to be on medication for about a month. I can't drive. So I'm a little groggy, but yeah, I was in there with my little gown and everything, and they kept coming in, and these young nurses, my head nurse said, to have a chat with you because you're fascinating. And then all of a sudden I actually asked her, I said, do y'all have meetings? I know that as Dennis, we had meetings, so do you have meetings? She goes, yeah, once a month. I said, is it possible that I could arrange, then I could talk to y'all about what you like? And she came back and called me. I'm out of the hospital, but she called me and she says, we discussed it and we would love for you to have. It's my first thing ever. I had to go to the hospital to get a meeting.
That is so incredible. Give it up for Carolyn. That is beautiful. That is
It was it
beautiful.
was worth
It was
it.
worth it. This is what it's about, you guys. Like we talked about this yesterday for everybody who was there, right? The moments in your life when you're able to recognize what stories you're living at the moment and make decisions within your life to acquire more stories instead of living in this safety. And then you utilize the stories, and you notice that when you're leaning into uncomfortable situations, that new opportunities get to you that you didn't even know were there. Like literally right now in this room, I learned stuff about AI that will affect your journey with the speaking experience, that I will implement, that all of you can benefit from, right? Every single time when we get ourselves in a new place, learn from new people, all these other things. Well, Arena's transcriptions AI is reacting here. That's funny. All right, Maria, what about you?
Well, my win this week, I went ahead and was talking to the PA Cancer Coalition, and I wrote them a uh, a letter because I know that they're having an event on the 25th. So I asked them if I could speak at the event. And so I'm waiting to hear back from them. But if I don't, I do have a connection now. for a future event. So hopefully it'll happen.
Let's go! Oh, that's so good. You know what I'm most proud of, Marie, in this win? Is you give yourself the permission to see yourself as a speaker. Because this whole speaking journey is not just for you to learn how to speak, but it's also to give yourself permission that that is who you are. Who knows for a fact that it's you? That you are a speaker. Nilsa, come on. Yeah, yeah. And who, when they started this journey, wanted to feel that, but did not. Right? That is what this is about, is for you to give yourself permission to step into that identity. Absolutely beautiful. Nilsa.
Well, yesterday I got to speak on She Rises. And I think what was fascinating about that is when they asked me what's the last comment that you want to say, I said, well, it was all about the host. So I congratulated the host. I said, this is an extraordinary event. And I brought some of Tony Robbins. I said, what you guys have done so well is you brought proximity to the room. So you have 50 speakers and you created what Tony Robbins says about proximity is power. And I love that I learned that from you, that it's not about me, it's about the audience and about the host, because now the host knows that I acknowledge them and they'll invite me to another event. So I thought that was cool.
Yes, that's so good. That's so good. Your next speaking engagement comes from the recommendations of people that you actually did a stellar job for, right? Instead of looking for new leads, new stages, new stuff, which is also important, is why not just focus on delivering value to the ones who are willing to share the stage with you and then build from there. Beautiful. Arena.
Aha. Hi. Isto 13, sorry, I'm in the middle of the lunch and with my kids. 13. Oh my god. 3 kids, sorry. And the frozen pizza. Okay. So my win regarding the speaking, I don't know. I was so much focused in incorporating everything I learned in my business, actually the most. And how I use this is like being better in being precise if what I want to say. So I find it practicing this, like not to go too broad when I'm trying to tell whatever I'm trying to say, to go to the point. And this got me even, some potential clients because of the conversations I had with friends, with the places where I was, where my potential clients were. So it helped me in that matter. I can see progress in that. I can see that I got better in that.
That's so good, right?
Yeah.
A presentation is nothing more than a conversation just with a lot of people at the same time. So when you can be present with one person and you can deliver the clear aim that you want to get across, if you can do that in a conversation, you can do that in a conversation with a lot of people at the same time, right? A presentation is not you blurping all of the stuff that you remembered in your perfect script. A presentation is you having an interaction with the people in front of you and really making that real. Be present with all of them. So it's beautiful that you're able to recognize that the skills that you're learning is not just the stage, but also with the people that you have conversations with, which now also means that in order for you to get on stages, you have a lot of practice sessions in between. It's not this one big thing that you do with one moment. It's all the little things where you can practice the skills, and that compounds over time. So it's absolutely, absolutely beautiful. Sandra, what about you?
Morning, everyone. Probably my biggest win is just personally trying to come up with my sections of my speech. So I've got quite a few full scaps, and I'm trying to put the 3 pieces together, the aim and then the 3 C's, and tell the story. So I'm just wondering though, will we have an opportunity to meet with you one-on-one before we do the speech? And secondly, are we doing the speech? I remember when we spoke on the phone, you said there'd be about 100 people in the audience. Are those people that or could you explain to me a bit more about that?
That's a beautiful win, Sandra. Wouldn't it be helpful for everybody? Right? To know a little bit about where you're going. And we've got some experts in the room. So Nilsa, would you mind sharing with everybody how it is to graduate from the Public Speaking Academy and what you can expect in between?
You're going to have the opportunity to get on a stage. There's going to be a lot of people in the audience, but you're not going to see them because you're going to be using StreamYard, which is a software that Lori's going to see you and you're going to interact with Lori. She's going to introduce you to the audience and you're going to give your keynote. It's going to be from 8 to 10 minutes. And then there's going to be a chat on the side and people are going to be celebrating you and asking you questions. But when you get off the stage and then you can go to the chat and look at all the information, all the nice messages that you received. Then at the end of when the graduation is over, we go back to the debriefing room, which is Lori's Zoom room, and you'll get a chance to speak how you feel about the speech that you delivered, and then we're going to give you positive feedback of what we found amazing of your speech. So it's a whole graduation with a debriefing at the end.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
I just was more curious about the leading up to the day of the speech. Are we meeting?
Yeah.
Do we get to meet with you?
All of that information you're all going to get. Just know that in your portal, right, where you see the replays of the Speaking Academy, there's a lot of resources that explain that specifically. So when the time comes, maybe this is a very unsatisfying answer, but are you okay to lean into a little bit of the process, Sandra, to know that every single step that you need to know will find your way exactly when you need to know it?
Okay, I just want to know if I should practice or be looking ahead to do
Yes.
more.
So what you can do is in your portal, and this is for all of you. Maria, this is your first day of the Speaking Academy. Like when you go through your Public Speaking Academy portal at the back side, you will find the exact resources that you need to understand how the streaming works, to understand how the week before works, how to understand how the one-on-one feedback moments, etc., that you are going to get, how that all works, and when you get access to that. So it's all built for you. Right now, what I would love to do is I would love to focus on the content that you're going to deliver there. Would that be okay? That all of
Yeah.
us are going to go to their next level on how is your content going to be and what are you actually going to share? Because Sandra, what I'm hearing in your win is you're focusing on the aim. Who here already knows what your aim is? Right? Some of you in this room are here for a second, a third. Some people are here for their fifth or sixth round. I don't even know it anymore. Nilsa has been so many times through the Public Speaking Academy. And she knows, and Carolyn knows, going here for a third round, is that you can change your aim a different time. But they will also know that for one round of Public Speaking Academy, it's really nice to stick to one specific aim. Because what your mind is going to do is going to think, oh my God, this should not be my aim. Because this aim, Lori, sounds really big. I should have this big goal that I'm going to achieve with every single thing of all, like everything that my passion, my expertise are building up to is this one aim. And I don't know for certain. I'm giving all of you the permission to just choose one. To choose one and to stick with it for the entire 8 weeks that we're working together. And that is going to be the one that you're performing on your stage moment. Now for Carolyn, she's doing this for her third time. Now Carolyn will choose a different one that she's done before, because now she's able to practice delivering certain messages and then pick different stories to facilitate that message. Does it make sense? Does it make sense? So you don't need to stick with one message for the rest of your life, but I do want you to stick with one message for the whole round of Public Speaking Academy, because that way you're going to have an end product that you can then look back upon and see, oh, this is how I created that. This is how I implemented all the knowledge that I acquired in this one specific thing. So instead of having scattered thoughts and being overwhelmed, you will have one end product that you know how you created it. So when you want to change any other part of the sequence, maybe is the outcome you want to change, maybe you want to change a story, then you understand how to do this. And I just, for every single one of you, I want to share my screen and reiterate upon what you have access to. And then actually, Maria, I didn't ask permission. I'm going to do that in this room to use you as an example today. Would that be okay? Because I looked into your blueprint and I saw that you've done stellar work already. And I would love for us to walk through it before we do some work together in focus time, and you will share this with each other. So you actually implement what we're learning now. But first, I want to share again the empty sheet that you all have access to. If you don't know where to find it, put it in the comments. Luke is also here to help us out to find the right blueprint for the right person, because you all have access to this specific form specifically for you. Because every single one of you has an empty worksheet. And in this worksheet, you can put your name, the ideal title of your talk, your title, your bio, and your photo, which, by the way, is what we need in order for us to promote you on the stage, right? So that's why it's there. And here is where you put the aim. Again, I don't need you to think for 5 years about what your perfect aim is. I just need you to pick one. And I can literally pick one for all of you right now, right? I can say to Nilsa is an expert in finance. I can say, Nilsa, the outcome of your aim this round, the only thing that I want you to focus on is numbers are fun. That's your aim, Nilsa. The aim of this talk is numbers are fun. That's it. And then for another time, the aim could, for example, be balance sheets are necessary for every business. That could be an aim. And then for another round, she can say, okay, Lori, I have a different idea. I want to now for people to understand, or Nilsa, you can unmute. Can you give 2 other aims as examples that you can literally come up with right now that you could choose? We're not saying you are.
And one aim would be stop the spending leak.
Yes.
And then another aim could be create your financial plan with doodling. So if you want to buy a house, you do a house. If you want to buy a dog, you do a dog. Instead of complicating it with numbers and charts and things like that.
Perfect. So do we all see that Nilsa has a expert or out? Oh, we're breaking up a little. Are we still good? Are we good? Cool. As said, we're really flexible today, so bear with me. So Nilsa is an expert in finance, and she can create a lot of different aims for her talk. She can work 8 weeks to think of the perfect aim. But is there really a perfect aim? Yes or no? No, there's not, right? You just need to pick one. So instead of overthinking what is my right aim, I would rather for you to just pick one and to work with it so you are understanding the theory that we're working, so you actually have an outcome instead of overthinking the start. So you're going to pick your aim. And then when you pick your aim, we're going to the next step, which is you're picking your stories, right? All of you have access to the story library. Some of you have already started building stories. Some people see this as a really beautiful reminder of, oh yeah, I had it. And for the last 2 weeks, I didn't fill stories in. Let this be your reminder. Your story library is not an outcome. It's not this thing we want to accomplish. It's a lifestyle where we want to recognize what stories are. For the people who were there yesterday, who remember that I shared a story that happened to me the day before, right? I shared a story of what happened to me on Sunday. And this is the lifestyle that you're in. You are in stories right now. I'm in a story right now. I'm in Amsterdam at an event in a restaurant where 1 minute before we started, the chef came to me and he said, Laura, this is not a great place to have gone. Like, well, That's okay. I don't need the best place, but this is what's going to happen because these people are waiting for me. So we make it happen, right? So it's all about using everything that's happening around you to immediately recognize I'm in a story. And when I share this in a powerful way, other people are able to learn from this. So you want to capture the stories and journal the stories and be aware of the stories. Like some of you are here for the first time. Some of you are super experts now, right? You're able to explain this. But are you doing the work consistently? Are you putting in stories in your story library consistently? Are you recognizing the stories that happen in your life consistently? And then a quick future pace. We want to focus on how we glue the talk together with opening and closes, and you want to optimize the delivery through the different approaches that are explained in the course. What I want to focus on right now is for every single one of you to have a very clear outcome of what your talk is for the time that you're presenting. So it's very easy for you to share this with everybody. And number two, to already pick different stories or storylines that you feel really good at. Now, that's a lot of work that we're immediately doing all together. And Maria, I would love to use you as an example because what I would love for you to do is share in your own words what you believe your talk is about. And then I'm going to share share the screen of what you already filled in the document because you've done so much work already. Like the beauty of these documents is that me and Luke are able to see what's in it. So we see all of your process. And I was looking through yours, Marie, and I'm like, this woman, she really did a lot of work. So I want to acknowledge you and I want to put you on a pedestal right now and give you the opportunity to share this with all of us so everybody can learn from that. Cool? So Maria, please unmute yourself and share with all of us what it is that you're doing and what you feel that your aim is all about in your own words. It's not about perfect script. It's not about what's in the document. It's just about just riffing it out loud.
Well, my story is to, well, of course, to inspire other survivors. It's all about like survivorships and the benefits of surviving breast cancer. You know, there's life after breast cancer, and I just want to be able to empower individuals to like embrace their survivorship, or if they're just going through it, to encourage them that they will get to the other side. And then I like to share my experiences and my insight on how I thrived and how I overcame it. So I think it's a powerful message, and I think that there's a lot of women that are going through it right now that have no idea where or any sense of direction where they should go. So I just want to be that person. I want to be their guide.
Isn't that so powerful? Isn't that so powerful? Now, Maria, you kind of like riffed about your aim. What I would love to do for all of us is I'm going to do a round. I'm going to pick at you, and I would love for you to kind of reshare what Maria has said. And then the outcome of what we're looking for is can we find a way to really easily share this so it's super clear and super short? So what I just said with Nilsa, like when Nilsa would share, she would be like, yeah, Laura, this, and I'm so passionate about this because I build these businesses and I see so many people struggling with their finances. And then I'm like, okay, so Nilsa, you try to make finance fun, right? So sometimes just a reflection of someone else creates a very big breakthrough for someone else, because sometimes we feel we need to fill in this document that I now gave you so perfectly because now Lori said she's watching it, so now everybody's going to do it and wants to look good, right? It's not about all of that. It's like it's a vehicle and a vehicle for you to help yourself. So let's reflect back to Maria what you heard. Irina, would you mind starting? What did you hear? If you have to find your finances fun, like what do you feel about Maria right now?
So with Niels, I have to tell it in my for myself. Okay, so
Yeah, so what you interpreted about Maria. So you're not talking about yourself and what you do, but about what you perceive Maria to do.
oh, you found me on the spot. uh I don't know how to.
And anyone can help her. So you're never
Yeah.
alone in this.
um
Sandra,
does somebody else?
do you want to help in?
Yeah, okay, Sandra.
For me, yeah, what I understood is there was hope and optimism despite the challenges that we're about to face or that we are facing. And it was comforting to know that there was someone there that had firsthand experience, and I felt I wasn't alone. And that's, I believe, the whole message Maria's trying to share with the world is that we don't need to be alone. So thank you for that.
Beautiful. So if
Yeah.
Sandra would rephrase it, would always be almost be like, you don't need to be alone. That could be a name, right?
Yeah, or some like hard times uh, doesn't have to stop us from, I don't know, living fully after we overcome those hard times. Something like this, I would
Really good
also
one.
can say. Yeah, now when I can.
Really, really good one, Arena. Well done. Well
Yeah.
done. Carolyn, I saw your hand up as well. You're on mute, Carolyn.
It's, you can do this. Can you hear me? I don't know.
We can hear you, Carolyn.
You can?
Yes.
Oh, what happened? I was going to say, you can do this. There's
Yes.
there's life after breast cancer.
Yes. Really good. Really, really good. I would write these down, Maria. These are really good suggestions. Nilsa.
I came up with like life experience equals vitality and joy. So she
Yeah.
went through a life experience, but now she's at the other side of it, and it's now vitality and joy where she can share her experience.
Yes, really, really good. So what's so fun about this exercise is that every single one of you, there will be a point where you either ask or you don't dare to ask this group and say, hey, is my aim correct? And now you're thinking about it for 5 weeks, right? And maybe you're asking me now, like, Lori, which one of these was good? And I would say all of them are good, right? So now you got to pick one. And in honesty, I think they're all kind of the same. We just use different words for it. And is it really important to use the right words for the aim? Not even. It's for you to have a clear direction in where you want this to go. So I'm going to share the screen and show what Maria wrote down, just for you all to see how she's been doing this. So we've got everything all ready for the gig. Pots all uploaded, nicely done. And now here is a lot of text, right? So she helps with this, she helps with this, she helps with this, to this, without this, so this, the now and the new, the teaching points, everything is beautifully filled in. And what I would now say, Maria, and this is for everybody, is this is the way you want to do it. You want to fill in a lot of information, kind of brain dump it down. And then at the end, you might want to just give yourself a summary of like one sentence, just as numbers are fun. So that, and this is the outcome that I want for all of you guys with the aim, is that you know when you're making decisions, you know what you're doing it for. You know what direction you want to lead people in. Does it make sense? So what I want to do right now, is get 3 minutes on the clock where you write down in your document what your aim is. Now, I'm not asking you to brain dump every thought that you had, just like Maria already done. But I want you to think of what's that one sentence that people will remember, that you don't need to overthink, that needs to be perfect wording, but just gives the intention of what you're about to do. Can we do that? I'm putting the clock. Write it either down in your notes if that's easier for you. If you can pull up your template and that's easy for you, feel free to do that as well. The 3 minutes clock will be in the screen. All right, the last couple of seconds. That's it. Who got a clear idea, or at least has some idea about what your aim is for this round this time with a raise of hands? Beautiful. I want to hear them from every single one of you. Maria, now back to you. In your own words, what would you say?
Well, I would say my aim is to help other breast cancer survivors find their voice and tell their story. Yeah. And to inspire and uplift anyone currently going through breast cancer, helping them to thrive.
Yes, and if you would say that one more time in just the first sentence to make it really short, because the reason why we want to make this short is whenever we start to overthink and overcomplicate and ask me questions like, oh, Lori, what story should I use, or which story, or how should I do this, right? We want to make it so simple, so easy. Numbers are fun. Right, Nilsa can share, but I really want to make sure that business owners think it's fun because it's really important, because they need to build their legacy, and then in order to do that, they don't want to be in crisis, and I want to prevent them from crisis. And now it becomes this really big thing with a lot of words, So can you share the first bit of that sentence, because I thought it was so powerful.
To help other breast cancer survivors to find their voice and tell their story.
Let's go. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Breast cancer is not the end. It's a new beginning. Beautiful. Beautiful, Maria. I'm so stoked for you to get on stages. This is so important. All right.
Thank you.
The next person. Who would love to go next? Arena. I love, by the way, how you created now a beautiful opportunity for yourself to know the answer also under pressure. And this is a beautiful practice. So I just want to acknowledge you for that.
Yeah. So I made like an aim of the speech that would be, your missing link is local expert. So
Let's go. Yes.
so
Really
because
good.
I help foreigners in Croatia come to their goals and not feel lost in translation. And
Yes.
so that's like, your missing link
Arena.
is local
This
expert.
is so good. This is so good. Why? Because you can talk about so many things. Would you agree?
Yeah.
So many things. So now a big part of this is the decision on what am I going to speak about? This is what you're going to speak about. Super well done. Say it one more time.
Your missing link is local expert.
Perfect. So every single piece that we're going to go through from this point forward is just for this aim. That's it.
Okay.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Who's next? Carolyn.
Yes, ma'am. My aim is the things that scare you are the things that I can't read my own writing. I can't read my writing. The things that scare you are the things that change you.
Nice. So we're talking about a mindset shift here. And Carolyn, you are, because I just keep saying it, I cannot help myself. I mean, Carolyn, let's just say it, she's older than you might think. She's older than you might think. She looks so young and vibrant, but she's older than you might think. In age, not in,
Not
like
in spirit.
livelihood, not in
Never
spirit at
in
all. Not in spirit at all. So when I hear this sentence, Carolyn, I could take over from you. And that's kind of what I want to prevent. So the aim, because you are you and you're so amazing, like you know so much about health. So can you say the aim one more time?
The things that scare you are the things that change you and create your can-do spirit. I can read my writing now.
And that's good, Carolyn. In your own words, like if you would leave the handwriting and you would just tell it to us, what do you mean with that specific?
Well, the things that scare you, and I've done a lot of scary things, and actually in my life always pick the scary things. I don't know what it is about, because I know I've had so much life that I know that every scary thing that I chose has made me evolve. So I know that now. So I pick it bravely because I know there's a glorious thing on the other side.
I see. So Carolyn, can I say then, and this is a test, I don't know, but could it be that the hard thing in your life can actually make you younger?
It does.
Right? So do we see what I did there with words and how it now connects to Carolyn, to your outcome and also what you offer as a business owner? Right? Because I can share with all of you how to fast for 60 hours. I did it last week. Fast for 60 hours, not eat for 60 hours to kind of give my system a reboot. I know so many things about health. I've actually been a dietitian. For people who don't know, I love everything with aura rings I have like crazy cool stuff that I know about this. But this is not a logical next step where I want to bring people towards in the business I created. So I could use stories about health and about fitness in the aim that I want to achieve, which is probably something around stories or storytelling or stages, or and this is how I do it, Carolyn, because I have a similar outcome sometimes or a similar teaching point, but I connect it to the stage. So then I say, in order for you to be a great storyteller, you got to live great stories.
That's
So
true.
then I connect it to storytelling. So what we want to do with you is you're focusing on health. So when you want to share about the bold thing that you need to do or the adventurous decision that you need to make, we got to connect that now to health, because that's the outcome that you really have. Because you want you want people to feel that they can live longer, because you have steps that you know about, that you've implemented, that probably doing bold things that make you feel alive is part of. Is that correct?
True. It's
Right?
true.
So do you now see how your aim slightly changes, and how the stories that you're going to share and the outcome that you're going to create, the hook, the call to action, will slightly be different because of a shift in the aim? That it's not so much about doing adventurous things to do adventurous things, but that adventurous things will make you feel younger. And that's the outcome that you're looking for. So now the outcome that people have is live a younger life, or like live, how do you say this, Carolyn? Feel younger,
Forever young.
be forever young. Nice one. It's on your head, or above your head. Be forever young.
Good, you can read.
Be
Yeah,
be forever young is the vehicle or the outcome, and the vehicle now is adventure. Does it make sense for everybody? Right? We want to make sure that your aim is about you. Right? So now Maria and Irina, you cannot switch, because your business is you. So it needs to make sense. Beautiful. Next person. Sandra.
I have two, but I'll just share one. OCD doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're fighting a battle most people can't see, and that makes you stronger than you realize.
Mm,
Too
beautiful.
long? Too busy?
Can you share it one more time?
OCD doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're fighting a battle most people can't see, and that makes you stronger than you realize.
Yeah. Beautiful. So this almost feels like a tagline, right? This almost feels like a subheader on a newsletter or something. So what I would say with you, Sandra, and this is just a suggestion,
Sure.
OCD is your superpower. What you're going to sell to them is that OCD is the thing they can be proud of instead of be embarrassed for, or something that's holding them back. It's actually propelling them forward. What we want to make sure of is that in our aim, there's not the solution already. So the how is not explained, right? So in your sentence, you're almost saying like, this is already the outcome of everything that I'm going to share with you. So for you as an aim, your outcome that you want to achieve is OCD is your superpower. Make sense?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
All right. Thank you.
Nilsa.
Okay. Business owners enjoy their financial journey.
Yes. Nice. In other words, finances are fun. Yes. Who got something out of hearing someone else's aim? Right? It's not about you thinking about your aim for 7 years. It's about just picking one and knowing where you're going to go. Because everything that you're learning is now connected to this specific aim. And Irina, is it okay if I put you on the spot again? Because I would love for you to practice with this muscle. Can you think of 2 other aims that you could speak about potentially?
I have them.
Perfect.
Power of help is in local people, and local expertise is key to success. I don't know that these are two.
And now I would love for you to think of a completely different topic. Maybe because you like how tax regulations change the way you think of business, or how like a subcontractor can make or break a partnership. Right?
Okay. How can co-host leverage your rental business in Croatia?
There you go. Right. So
Love
now
it.
it completely changes. But do you see that both aims you're able to do?
Yeah.
But that
Because they do both.
depending exactly, but depending on which one you choose, you're going to make different decisions.
Yeah.
Right? And what
Yeah.
happens most of the time is that what people are doing is they first look at all the information that they can share and then try to make a story from that. And now there's like 5 different aims mixed, and now it's going to be really hard to make decisions on the content, and you feel that you're never really doing the point because you're never really delivering something. And that's why we started with the aim, and that's why we do this now together, because I don't want you to sit on this thought for 5 years. It's just making a decision now and let it make sense and stick with it, because you can change. Like, you all have 20 different aims you can talk about.
Yeah.
But when you're not willing to choose now, everything you're learning is kind of like not really being implemented because you didn't choose. So can we commit to the aim that we just wrote down right here, right now, with a little suggestions from me? Can we do that? Can we do that all? Can we do this funny face? I don't know why I do this, but if you do, then give me 2 times a piece or a 5 in Latin. Great. Carolyn is like, I don't know what is this in Latin. Probably 5. 5 or whatever. A lot. Beautiful. Nils, that was frozen for me. That was fun. Okay, so we've got our aim. Now, what is the next step? The next step that I want to focus on today is what is in your worksheet also below aim, and that is the 3 points that you want to get across. Now, why do we do just 3, you guys? Why do we just do 3? Tell me. Sandra, why do we just do 3 and not 7?
Is it to get, I'm not sure, but is it to make sure that we stay focused and not get too sidetracked?
Sandra, you got a 10 out of 10 score.
Oh,
Well
wow.
done. Well done. So we do 3 steps because it's easy to digest for an audience. It's easy to digest for an audience. Now, who here knows that you have more than 3 things to share?
Everybody has.
Right? You have more than 20,000 probably. If I force you to share all of them with us, then we will sit here till tomorrow and forever. So what we want to do is we want to pick 3. Now, this could be challenging because you do have more things to share. And do you also see how challenging this can be if you don't pick your aim first? Because now we're like, yeah, but these 3 sound good and these 3 could be perfect. It's like, of course, they're all good. And now you come to me, it's like, which one should I choose? Which one do you think is better? It's like, I don't care which one I think is better. Is which 3 steps are a logical step for the audience to achieve what you set out as an outcome for them. So we now have, you're not alone in your breast cancer journey. We now have the local superpower. We now have OCD as a superpower. So now we know where we're going. Now, what I would love for all of you to do is to write down what the 3 logical next steps could be in order from where your audience is right now to go where they need to go. And I'll share an example with you first, okay? Because when I
¿Todo
was
bien o están peleando?
when I was sharing the public speaking journey, I thought, what are the 3 steps that people go through, right? If I need to draw the journey, then in that process, I came up with this thing that just sounds really cool according to myself. And that is stand up for who you are. Have the confidence to actually believe in who you are and what your message is. Then stand up, speak up. Now we have to formulate the message, right? The first one is mostly about confidence. The second one is about keynote creation and clarity. And then the third one is about scale up. Now it's about how to get on stages and monetize. So I just created these 3 buckets because I saw these 3 steps: confidence, clarity, and stages and monetization. Now, could I, in the same explanation, make 4 steps? Where it would, for example, say the first one is about confidence, the second one is about keynote creation, the third one is about stages, the fourth one is about getting paid for that. Yes. And could I make 5 of them? Where I would say, first it's about confidence, then it's about knowing your message, then it's about creating your message, then it's about getting on stage, and then it's about getting paid for it. Yes. Could I get 6 of them? Where the first thing is about having confidence to share. The second one would be figuring out what your message is. Then it's about creating the right message. Then it's about testing the right message. Then it's about getting on stage, and then it's about getting paid for it. Could I get 7? Can I go on forever and ever and ever? My point is, you have more than 3 points to share, and I get it. But what we are doing is we're boiling it down to 3 buckets that are easy to share with people, so they're easy to remember it. Now, I'm also not asking you to make the perfect alliteration, that the most amazing creative thing that I've ever created, stand up, speak up, scale up. Oh my God, it sounds like a poem. That you need to come up with that in the next 5 minutes. I'm also not saying that. I'm also not saying that the top 3 steps that you're going to create right now are the steps that you need to marry forever. It can never change. And this is going to be the curriculum. This is going to be part of your LLC. You need to register. You need to put it into frameworks, and we need to set it in stone, and it's going to be engraved in, I don't know, in a tattoo. I'm also not saying that. What I am saying, though, is I want you to practice, to think of the aim that you have, and then you just logically think out loud, like, what are the 3 steps that people need to go through? And just write these down without needing to sound fancy. Can I get 2 thumbs up if you can do that? Just think of what are the logical 3 steps right now. Okay, go for it. 5 minutes on the clock.
Hmm. Mm.
We've got some great ideas on your top threes, you guys. I want to hear about them. Nilsa, you go first.
My top three is we in finance, we create awareness, we create alignment, and then we take action. So we say yes, we create the awareness, we align, and we take action to go on that joyful financial journey.
Incredible. Now, can you pick three others for me, please?
Yes. First, we always have to say yes. You have to say yes to wanting to do it. Then I don't know. It's awareness, alignment, and action. So it's yes, it's shifting the limited beliefs that you have about finance. So you have first you have to always have to say yes to yourself, shift the limited beliefs, and then start the execution or the planning.
Beautiful. And I put you on the spot. I did it a little bit on purpose because
Love it. Thank you.
Yeah, you've been in this round for so long that at some point it just starts to become a practice on itself, right? To automatically think of threes. Just for all of you to know, what I often do is when I get a question, I say there's three reasons for that. But then I don't know yet what the three reasons are. I just train my brain constantly to come up with threes because this is a skill in itself. Like before here, I'm in a mastermind right now. I'm a participant, but I really know the owner really well. And he just came to me at lunch. He said, Lori, do you mind just sharing this a little bit on stage? I'm like, of course. What is it? Right? So instead of us needing to know all the things, just say yes. And okay, what is it? And then I'm like, okay, what threes am I going to share? And then I shared three quick stories. So I'm always thinking about what are the threes? What are the threes? So it's not about you figuring out what the quote unquote perfect top three is for this one and filling it in to your document. It's about practicing what top threes can you think of. And also for you, I can also think of, you gotta, first, step number one, you gotta look at your numbers now. Then you're gonna, step number two, you're gonna set the goals of what you want your numbers to be. And then step number three is find out what the gap is and what action steps you need to take to get there. Right? So again, there's not such thing as the perfect threes. But what I loved about Nilsa's, she had so much certainty in what those specific threes needed to be. And that's what we're looking for. That's what we're looking for. Luke.
Just a really quick thing on this rule of three, Laurie, that's a good rule to remember. And this is a Tony Robbins piece. See it as it is. See it how you want it to be. Make it how you see it. And whatever context, that works. Evaluate your business. See what needs to be different and how you want your business to be. Do the action plan to get it into place. So this is one way to always have a model of, even if I start with my first one, I can make it my second and third one really quickly.
Yes, really good. So what Luke is basically sharing, he's like, this is a template top three. Just borrowing this template top three. And if you don't know your top three, you can always put it through this template so that you always have something, right? So that's a beautiful one. That's a beautiful one. And yes, maybe you can put it in the chat, Luke, so everybody can copy it. Beautiful, beautiful. What about you, Maria? What top three did you come up with?
I came up with, well, my three would be telling them my personal journey and my milestones. Like giving them like practical tips and resources. And actually creating or letting them know the importance of a support community or support system.
Yes. Beautiful. So what I'm hearing is your personal journey, practical tips, and how a support group is really important. Now, is it okay if I share some ideas about how we can make it to the next level? Would that be okay?
Sure.
Because what I'm seeing is that your personal story could be an overarching theme that we're going to use as a story to make the points. Because the next step, which we're not diving into today, is how can you now these 3 different steps that people need to remember, how can you share these 3 steps, but then through a story? So people don't just understand what you're saying, but they're able to live a story and better remember the point. So the personal story, I would not put a personal story as one of the top 3s, because that's going to be the vehicle in which you're going to deliver these top 3s. So if I just riff out with you what I can imagine, but I'm just making them up, right? These are hallucinations. Is maybe step number 1 is could be dealing with the diagnosis, dealing with it, or surrendering to what is, or grieving about, I don't know, like some sort of like get in the now, accept what is. Then step number 2 could be make a top 3 of what you need most, or step number 2 could be, instead of thinking about all the things you need to do, think about one person that can help you. And then step number 3 could be, don't just look for one person, but create a group, or the right questions that you need to ask. And Luke just put something in it, and he says, accept it, appreciate it, align with it. Right? So in this way, Maria, you're able to think, what are the 3 stages that people kind of bring, that you need to bring people through? So it's not so much like, what are the 3 phases of your talk? First, I want to talk about my own story, then I want to give you tips, and then I want to give you integration lessons, right? About the support system. It's more of like, where are people now, and what 3 phases do they need to go through, and how then can you name those 3 phases so it's easy for people to remember? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Is it helpful?
It is. It gives me some thinking.
Yeah, beautiful. And I will just, before Nilsa's gonna share what she wants to share, I quickly want to share what you put down in the document. Is you said 3 teaching moments could be resilience and growth, building a supportive community, and embracing a new normal, right? So this is the place where you want to fill that in, so that you got yourself that anchor and that memory of, oh, these were the 3 places. So you've done really well there. Nilsa, anything to add?
Okay, yeah, I want to ask you a question. You mentioned so many times that when we're speaking to an audience, it's about them, not
Yes.
about us. But
Yes.
even as I practice the muscle, I find myself talking about me when I really want to talk about them, but that's what comes out. So how do you start, like yesterday in my speech, at the end, I knew that I had to say, Daniela and Danny, you're amazing. So I had that here and I stuck it out, but I'm sure that I was watching the replay. I'm like, why did I talk about myself and take a minute when I couldn't have been talking about the audience? So I continue to do that. Not intentionally, it just comes out. So how do you stop? You
Doing
get
that.
my question?
Yeah. I totally get it.
Yeah.
And this is also with basically with the 1, 2, 3 with Maria just said, because basically what Maria just did was phenomenal, because that is the exact structure in which we're going to put it, right? Your personal story is going to be a part, then there's integration for the audience, and then there's like, what's the next step? And how you can think of this is, and this is just like one sentence that I always love to use. You're probably wondering, why am I sharing this with you? Because the thing is, you guys, who hear sometimes things like, is my story that fascinating for other people? Like, why do people want to listen to me and my stories? Because that's what's next week is going to be all about stories. That the truth of the matter is, they don't really need your story for their life to be improved. They don't need your story. but your story is going to help them remember the facts. So, Niels, it's not so much that you should not talk about you and your stories. It's just, and this is the next step that we're going to dive into a little later in a deeper matter, is how can you become the master in connecting your stories to integrations for other people? And that can be simply through, you might wondering, why am I listening to this story? Well, let me tell you, as a business owner, don't we all blah, blah, blah. And I'll tell how I did it before, because the guy that asked me to do a little presentation here said, Lori, you go to a lot of masterminds. And I gave him some feedback on the one before. He's my friend. And he asked me, like, how would you do it better? I'm like, well, I would do this. So he said, why don't you tell this to the whole group? Because I think everybody can learn from it. So I thought I can share that, which basically the main outcome that I had was masterminds matter. That was my aim. Masterminds matter, or masterminds are magical. That was my aim. And my teaching point was, instead of doing one deep dive with just 2 people, let's have a lot of small deep dives with multiple people. So you meet more people, and then later during dinner, which we will do in a bit, you know who to go deeper with. So instead of going deep with people, you find out after 5 minutes, like, yeah, no, we don't need to go deeper. Like, this is not going to be useful for any of us. Just do a lot of people in the beginning, and then you know who to talk to, and then you go deeper. So then I thought, okay, how can I share this? And I thought of 3 specific examples of my own life that masterminds created for me. So I shared 3 specific stories of my life. So I'm like, okay, so now I'm part of the participants, and now this participant gets on stage and she's going to share about her stories. Like, no one is excited about that. So in the beginning I said, well, we are all here for a full day. And what I noticed, what my intention is here is to spark all of our imagination. So your brain is now looking for different opportunities to leverage the time that we're spending together. Is it okay if I just share 3 stories so all of our imagination gets activated? Is it okay? So I kind of asked permission to talk about myself. So now it's not, oh, Lori's talking about myself. No, everybody gave permission to do that. So that's number 1, where you immediately get everybody on board. Okay, now she's going to talk about herself, but I already gave her permission. And then at the end, you say, well, you might be wondering, why is this relevant for me? Well, you might sit with someone that you immediately think, we cannot do business together immediately. But, and this was one of the stories I shared, that it was not business that got out of it, but a really cool personal experience, right? So I wanted people to go a little bit more open about what they're going to experience. Does it make sense? Beautiful. Carolyn.
Question, because I'm thinking of my presentation. My presentation I'm thinking about is called Morocco, Khalid, Me, and the Snakes. You heard me right. Snakes, plural. And I have 3 points. I have 3 points. Face the fear, don't fight it. Choose strength beyond comfort. And third, celebrate your transformation.
Yes. Beautiful. Beautiful. And how we're going to puzzle this is we're going to go back to the aim. So, Carolyn, if your aim is adventures help you to live forever young, right? So we go, see, this is a whole puzzle, because these 3 topics, they're super good, Carolyn. They're super good. Now we're going to attach them to the outcome that you want to achieve. Adventurous life leads to live forever young, right? That's kind of like the aim that you have, right?
Right.
Adventurous leads to forever young. Now then, what 3 stages do people need to go through in order for them to go there? And I'll just give some examples and see how they land for you, Carolyn. Number 1, audit your life right now on a scale of 1 to 10. How adventurous is it at the moment? Number 2, what is a dream adventure that you've always wanted but never dared to do? Number 3, plan that adventure to live a life forever young. Right? So these top 3s, it's kind of like a muscle to see, okay, where do you want to go? And then what are the top 3s that are going to help people get there? Because the top threes that you shared right now, Carolyn, if I would make it super practical, if I would give you a number from 0 to 10, I would give you a 10 on the top on 3 steps. But if I would quote unquote rate it from what are the 3 topics and do they add to the aim, it would not yet be a 10. And I know that you're kind of a 10 kind of person. So what I would say is what top 3 would facilitate the outcome.
That was perfect. I was missing that part.
It is replayed.
It's just
recorded.
like, it was every time you give me that little pearl, like the grape or the raisin, I will never forget that.
There you go. There you go. Who gets a lot out of listening to other people as well? Because aren't we all struggling with it? I've not done enough one-on-ones to know that I'm having the same conversation with everybody, right? That's why we do this in a group. So beautiful. Sandra, what are your 3s?
The 3 logic steps. Acknowledge the power within your struggle. Learn to separate yourself from the condition and turn your struggle into a strategy.
Wow, they're all alliterations. She's a wordsmith over here. Can you say them one more time? Because, and we're going
Sure.
back to the main picture, guys, and this is what I want all of you to see. Sandra's aim is OCD is your superpower. So the task here is, what are the 3 steps for people who don't yet see that OCD is a superpower to experience OCD as a superpower? So can you share them one more time, Sandra?
Sure, I'd like to acknowledge the power within your struggle, learn to separate yourself from the condition, and turn your struggle into a strategy.
Nice. So can I reflect back because I cannot remember them perfectly because there are
Sure.
multiple sentences and maybe this is just my thoughts and if I write them down it becomes easier, but what I kind of like understood is number 1 is accept who you are. Number 2,
Acknowledge your power. Yeah.
acknowledge. So and what was the number 2?
Number 2 is learn to separate yourself from the condition. Like I always say, I have OCD, but OCD doesn't have me.
So what is the difference for you? Can you explain it to me between 1 and 2?
Okay, so number 1 is acknowledge the power. So instead of seeing yourself as a victim rather than a victor, same thing applies with number 1. Acknowledge that there's power within the struggle. You can turn the struggle into a success. You can use the struggle as your power to overcome it. And the second one is separate yourself. You are no longer a victim of OCD, but rather a victor.
I see. I see. So what I would say, and this is a little sub-step for every single one, and that's why it's in the workbook. We didn't completely dive into it today, but this is why. Let me show you. We covered this, right? Your aim. You brain dump all sorts of ideas, and then you have one clear sentence. And we're here now. What are your 3 specific teaching moments? What we skipped over, because this is an exercise that's useful, but it's not per se necessary, but it's really nice to understand why it's there, is the now versus the new, right? Your audience is in a certain place right now, and you want to bring them to step number 3. So Sandra, when I would reflect this back to you, and maybe this doesn't feel good to you, and that's totally okay, but is it okay if I share some thoughts on what I'm listening for? Is
Please.
your step number 1 is OCD is your superpower, right? Which basically is also the aim of your entire talk. So when we look at the people who are in front of you, they're probably not yet completely understanding this. And this is why it's your whole outcome of your whole entire talk to make that point. So to start with number 1, by the way, this is your superpower, might be a little too fast. So if we look at the now and the new, where people are now and where you want to bring them, they might not be ready at them. And step number 1. So step number 1 might be something along the lines, and let's brainstorm this all together. Please put in the chat. What are some ideas of step number 1 if your topic would be OCD is your superpower? There's no wrong answers. Put them in the chat. All your ideas. What are your ideas on step number 1? Oh, there we have Luke with his wording again. Luke is a wordsmith. He's like OCD. What if OCD could all stand for a step? O is optimize, C is committed, and D is determined. Right? So that's actually a really cool idea. I really like that. So why does OCD, like normal people or like people who don't know this yet, no, OCD is blah, 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 disorder. But is it okay if I share a new definition with you? A definition that might change the way you look at this condition. Because my outcome here is for all of us to understand that this might be your superpower. And step number 1 is we need to optimize. We need to optimize la 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 la. Luke, if you would share this in your own words, then what would you say in your own words could step number 1 be about?
Sorry, just repeat that for me, Laurie. I got distracted.
If you in your own words would say what the O optimize means, then how would you say it?
Yeah, always striving for the best or most precise outcome. Is that what you mean? Like, what does it mean, or how would you do it?
Yeah, so when we bring people from the now to the new, we have 3 different steps. And you say, number 1 is optimize, number 2 is commit, number 3 is determined. Then what could optimize mean, according to you, where it's logical for people as a flow throughout the whole story?
So often OCD people are seen as chaotic or unable to commit or unable to function normally. However, what we find with OCD people is their ability and the way that they think means that they are often getting more precise results if we just give them the time to express themselves, because sometimes they can be a little bit shy in bringing their superpower forward.
Yeah, so maybe step number one could be, and how would you say this then, Luke? Because it's not about like an explanation to those people. It's about how Sandra can share her keynote. Like number one is optimize. Optimize what?
So I was thinking more OCD people are optimized, committed, and determined. So really, the 3 steps would be, first of all, listen to understand. Second would be find the gold in how they communicate. And third is empower them to take more responsibility instead of less.
Yes. So that is a beautiful top 3. And this is a top 3, Sandra, for when you're speaking to other people to understand people with OCD better. Right? When you want to empower people with OCD, it might be step number 1, where you're like, acknowledge the superpower that's already within you. Then step number 2, communicate to other people how you like to communicate. Step number 3, plan that one action and call the person that you communicate most, or that you feel frustrated by most, or that you want to optimize best, in order for you to really lean into that superpower. Does it make sense, Sandra?
Yeah, thank you. Yes, thank
Beautiful.
you.
Luke.
Yeah, I was just going to say, thinking about it in that lens, then it would be step 1 is to recognize your existing achievements. What are some of the things you've done as an OCD person where you've got an amazing result? 2, find a way to communicate with clarity so that you very quickly get to the point so your audience can understand. And number 3, offer to take responsibility for a new project. So that might be a way for someone who has OCD to communicate very clearly with people looking for a different type of result than the way you normally communicate.
Yes. Yes. This is how we want to look at it, guys. So you have an outcome. We want to choose what that outcome is, and then we want to verify what are those 3 steps for people to bring people there. Irina, what would be yours before we wrap up today?
Okay, first I had it like when I work with the client and like, okay, if they want to get results, like first is clarity in like what is our problem, then priority to see which one they want first to be solved, and then strategy, how, step by step, how we are going to make it. It can also be defined as a problem, solution, and execution. And I also I also made it as laid out, grade it, and then solve it. So I don't know, like the
So
steps.
I know that
how
you
we
don't
would
know, but if you would pick
cooperate
one,
with it.
if you pick one of those top threes, which one would you choose, Rena? Because it's not so much about giving the perfect one, it's about picking one.
I think it's this laid out. It's
Yes.
to be more like tell everything that's on your mind, what is bothering you, grade it. Okay, let's see what really needs to be for like give them a grade 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then solve it. And then like let's go on to it. Like
Let's
step
go.
no.
Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go. You guys, do you see that in 90 minutes, we basically did a whole step into the framework? And for really be honest, Niels and Carolyn, did you get next level on the stuff that you've already been doing forever, right? These are the fundamentals of the fundamentals. I work with really, really high level people that really get a shit ton of money from sharing for 45 minutes. And this is still what we go back to. Because if this isn't clear, everything else kind of falls down. So what I would love for all of you to do is in your own framework, in your own document, put all of this information in so me and Luke are able to see it. And because you need to force yourself to put it down there, that when, Sandra, you will have your 101, you'll have your document. It's not like all these ideas and you kind of, like you vomit all your ideas. It's like, no, these are the decisions I made. Now, did I make the decisions right, or should we change it? So now the discussion becomes very much more implementable. So for all of you, I would love for you to fill it in. And then to already start practicing with everything that's below it. The stories, fit in more stuff to your story library. Start with your hook, start with your call to action. And then next week we come back, we go through a next step, we integrate a next part, and you're able to ask your questions. Is that cool? Absolutely. Then what I would love for all of you to finish off with before we're going to close is to record a video. And in that video, I would love for you to share the 3 things that we always do. Number 1, what did you learn and what was your biggest breakthrough? Number 2, what are you committed on doing before we see each other next? And then step number 3, who in this room are you grateful for and why? Because sometimes we forget how amazing we are and other people recognize it. So it's really nice to share that as well. Luke, in 1 minute.
One really quick thing is when Nilsa was asking the question, I think it's a great question about how do we avoid I this, I that, I the other, and I did this and I did that, because we all do it. We're talking from our experiences. So the first one is a pattern interrupt. Just remind yourself that you don't want your eyes to be too close together. Not these eyes, but your I do this and I do that and I do the other. And then the second thing is when we do need to share a story, share it through the eyes of someone else. And a great phrase is one of my clients had this problem. And what they did was they did this and I helped them. And it's not you saying you did it. It's the results somebody got, and people can put themselves in the shoes of your client. And then the third one is how would it feel if? And how would it feel if before you were in this situation and you didn't know what to do, or that you did this, or you got this result? So that's how you can take your experience and put it into them. Does that make sense?
Beautiful. And that's a really awesome 1, 2, 3 to wrap up as well. Make sure you create the video, share the video in the Speaking Academy channel, and then do the work as we just talked about. And then we see each other next Monday if you want to join, and next week in the Speaking Academy. All right, you guys, you played full out. Increíble.